It was just me, don't worry.
Elvin Fuyungkit, what was all this about?
I have a question. Let's ask question.
I have a question.
Hi there and welcome to I Have a Question, our family devotional series where we dive into big questions that we have about an even bigger God.
Our question this month is, does God really speak to us? How can I hear His voice?
Esther.
Who's that?
Esther.
Yes?
Esther.
No, that's getting really weird.
Esther.
What's going on?
Esther.
Okay, now who is talking to me? Who?
It was just me, don't worry.
Elvin Fuyungkit, what was all this about?
I was just trying out some different voices, for my project, some research for my project.
Project? What project?
You know, the one that I've been working on, right? I'm trying to find out what God's voice sounds like. Okay, so now, tell me which of the voices just now sounded the most like God's voice to you? Was it A? Was it B? Was it the S?
Okay, Elvin Fung, I think I need to share with you something. When we talk about hearing God's voice or hearing Him speak, it's not necessarily about how He sounds.
It's not.
It's not.
But I have so many questions. I mean, what does God's voice sound like? Does He speak out loud? Is it so loud that my eardrums will burst? And most importantly, how do I really know if it's God speaking and not just my own brain imagining things? Because last night I had too much pepperoni pizza.
I don't think that really affects, but those are really good questions.
Right.
And Elvin, we know from the Bible that God is a speaking God. He's always speaking to His people. And sometimes He does speak in a voice that can be heard, such as in 1 Samuel chapter 3, where God calls out audibly to Samuel and speaks to him.
And I also remember there's another story, right? In 1 Kings chapter 19, where Elijah hears God speak to him, not in a great and strong wind, not in an earthquake, not in a fire.
This sounds like a bird, but yes.
But in a quiet whisper.
Alright. And the Bible has lots of examples about how God speaks to His people through His messengers, the prophets.
So God speaks to different people in different ways. But that still doesn't answer my question of how do we know it's God's voice and not just our own imagination?
Or our own thoughts, right? Now, why don't we have a quick family discussion about this question now? Let's take the next few moments to share with each other about a time that you heard God speak to you. What was it like? And how did you know that it was God who was speaking to you?
So why do you pause the next screen as you have your family discussion? Esther, can you share about a time where you heard God speak to you?
Sure, I remember back in 2017, I felt a strong sense in my heart that I should quit my job as a teacher to focus on creating resources to help families grow closer to God and closer to each other. I knew it was God speaking to me because this was something that was in line with what God's word says in Deuteronomy chapter 6. It was also something that I had been praying to God about for a long while, especially after serving children and families in my job.
I know that story. That's how the Treasure Box Singapore actually got started. And for me, God spoke to me as I was reading the Bible, as I read Genesis chapter 12, about how God called Abram to step out in faith and to obey God. I felt God calling me to do the same too. And of course, we both struggled along the way, but in the end, obeying God's voice was the best decision we ever made.
That's right. So before we conclude this month's video, let's read our theme verse together. My sheep listen to my voice.
I know them, and they follow me. John chapter 10, verse 27.
Over the course of the next few weeks, let's look into God's Word to explore just some of the different ways that God speaks to us through the Bible, through prayer, through other people, and even through creation. We'll learn how to listen, how to recognize His voice, and most importantly, how to respond with faith in obedience.
So follow along with us. You can either scan the QR code on screen, follow us on social media, or join our mailing list to get access to weekly devotional material discussing this month's question.
If you have learned something new at the end of this month, we'll love to hear about it. You can DM us on our Instagram, TheTreasureBoxSG, or email us at hello@thetreasureboxsg.com.
Well, that's it from us for this month's question. We hope you have a great time of family conversations as you grow closer to God and closer to each other. See you next month.